Okay,
Hey, everybody. So I wasn't going to go live and I wasn't going to tell you guys about this. And then Nick and I started talking. I realized that you need to be part of the witnessing
okay, I
of.
need I need to look up this stuff. We both missed the Xbox showcase. I totally meant to watch it, but I just
I
completely forgot it was
I completely
happening.
forgot about it, and then I woke up and rolled over and was reading my phone, and it's like, oh, it's about to start. Oh, Nick will watch it, so I let you.
Nope.
I
I
figured
was
you'd watch it.
I've been looking up trailers now, and then Edie just reminded me, oh yeah, there's like a 30-minute Starfield deep dive. I'm like, okay, fuck, I should probably look into that. And then she dropped the bomb that after not after watching it, but
Mm-mm.
after reading about it, you decided to
Do
dot dot
something
dot.
very, very stupid with my money. And then Nick said,
What
pre-ordering is fine, but you know it's not fine?
pre-ordering like the super duper bullshit thing because look, oh okay, this personal rant. We live in a day and age now where those bonus editions are worthless. When I was spending money on stupid bullshit special editions, I was at least getting like art books and soundtracks and like actual physical books and like giant 8-inch bullshit figurines. But at least I was getting something out of it, not just, hey, here's some currency. Hey, here's a couple digital cosmetic items. No, no.
Well, that's the medium edition. I got the collector's edition.
Okay, what's
The
in the collector's
$300
edition?
collector's edition.
Oh my god.
I just pre-ordered it.
That's nuts. Although, to be fair, I know you got the super bullshit edition for Fallout 4 that came with the Pip-Boy, and that Pip-Boy's kind of cool.
Yeah. I'll just pull it up since I've got it all up here anyway. Starfield Direct.
Yeah, okay, I can't watch this. I need to read.
No, you need to watch what it is. You need to see it. Let's see, where is it? Oh, stop. Don't make any
It's
noise.
40 minutes. I can't watch a 40-minute
No, you're not
thing
gonna watch the whole 40-minute, dude.
in
It's just
10 minutes before the show starts.
no. Here we go.
I need the ultimate cliff notes.
No. We'll make you watch it. It's fine. It's fine,
Okay,
Nick.
well, looking at this, it kind of looks like No Man's Sky, which I'm into.
All right, so let's get this to where we are doing. And can you hear it?
To bring that to the real world with our collector's editions. And for this game, we've done a watch. It is the Constellation Explorer's watch. This is the watch that you actually get in the game that acts as part of your HUD, where it's the compass and then environmental information. It connects to your phone to give you notifications and other information. And we've also designed this really cool case that it comes with, Istvan.
Yeah, we really took as much care and designed this case as we did the watch. Our attention to detail in the game totally translates to this. Inspired by the cases that the astronauts used during the Apollo era to bring back samples from the moon. It's got an intricate locking mechanism, authentic, heavy of a Constellation patch, NATO strap, and the overall functionality and believability of this as something that would exist in the world, in the Starfield universe.
Oh, and hey, take this. You'll find it very useful out there, and it even tells the time.
We actually...
Okay, so that's what I got.
Okay.
Thoughts?
It looks neat, but like, who knows if it will be good?
Yeah, I will, because I just pre-ordered it for $300.
Oh yeah, you're invested now.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, wait. We should also take note.
Mm-hmm.
You spent $300 on a game that will be available on Game Pass.
Yeah, I wanted the watch.
Okay, so you spent $300 on the watch.
Oh yeah, I spent $300 on the watch. No doubt about it. You know, I'm a watch whore. I have Fallout watches. I have
Oh,
Pip-Boy
yeah.
watches. Not just the Pip-Boy thing. I bought it for myself, and I bought for Shawnigan because actually he bought me the Pip-Boy edition because I couldn't get one and I was pissed, and he had one, so he gave it to me. So I sent him as a thank you back. I bought 2 of those watches, one for myself and then one for him that I sent him.
Hmm.
So I'm a watch whore. I really am. I always have been.
Okay.
You should see the drawer in my I have a drawer in my bedroom that is just so many fucking watches. So many fucking watches. And like most of them are broken because I wear them. But yeah, I've
Mm.
always been a watch whore.
Hmm.
My first watch that I bought with my own money was the very, 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 very first Texas Instruments watch that had
Wow.
red LED. Like it wasn't like showing, it was just a blank screen, and you actually had to press a button to show it. And it was like, that was space age. That was my first watch.
Why would you press a button to have to see the
'Cause
time?
They didn't have persistent LEDs like that.
Why? But that sounds so inefficient.
It is inefficient, but that's what we had. That was all we had.
But like, why would you even make a watch like that?
Because that's what they had. That was the technology. That
But-
was cutting edge technology.
No,
Because
I
the LEDs
understand.
took so much power that they couldn't stay up all the time.
No, I understand
in a
that, but I'm
battery
saying
form.
It seems like a fundamentally bad use of technology to not have a watch that's just on.
No,
Like,
but it was about owning something that was digital. Prior to that watch, the only watches you had were ones with hands.
Yeah.
There was nothing else. This was the first time that there was a watch that actually showed you numbers.
It was the first digital watch. Like it just
the first
that
fucking digital watch.
it sounds
And
like
the
it was
Texas
such
Instruments.
a poor watch. Like just the basic functionality has a watch that, just because you can doesn't mean you should.
It was a watch that people would stop me, as other kids especially, but even adults would stop me in the mall and ask, "Is that one of those digital watches? Can I see
Mhm.
it?" Like people would stop me on the street to
Oh
see it
yeah, it's a cool
because
thing.
nobody's seen anything like it before. I wish I had. I might even still have it at my parents' house. So I've always been a bit of a watch whore. Yep, there it
Okay.
is, right here. This thing.
So it was and then AC races, and then we had calculator watches. Same power issues, more buttons.
Yep.
If you like to collect cool
That
stuff,
is absolutely true. So yeah, here is what it looked like. This was my watch, except mine was white, which was even better. But yeah, that was the first digital watch, and if you wanted to tell the time, you had to hit that little button, and that was the time. That's how long it stayed on too, and you could get the date. And that's how you set it, is by holding it down. Yeah, I really wish I still had that watch, but I wore the shit out of that thing. But that's all, batteries were such that you couldn't have it on all the time.
Yeah, like I get that. It sounds dumb.
It was and it wasn't. It was like at that point in technology, most homes had a rotary dial phone. Like it was a big thing if you had a push button dial phone. So it's that early. It was the Tesla of my day. Yeah, thank you. Pulsar, the revolution in display technology. That's right. Texas Instruments Pulsar technology. And it cost me $99, which back in 1970 was very expensive. AC Ray says, I'm a whore who likes to watch. No, I am a watch whore. Very different things.
Yeah. The order of those words is very important.
So yeah, I pre-ordered that thing. Sue me. I'm not regretting it yet, but I do want to warn you, given my history, that is the kiss of death for Starfield as a game.
Okay. Well,
Because
Well-
when I buy deluxe editions of anything, the game is awful
not all the time.
every single time I've done it.
I remember you did it with Destiny.
Hmm.
What were the other games?
No Man's Sky.
Hey, I defend No Man's Sky.
Yeah, now, but back then.
No, I defended No Man's Sky back then.
Yeah, because you're an idiot.
I've always been pro No Man's Sky.
I wasn't, and I bought, Extreme. What else did I get it on? I've done a couple of others, and they were both bad. Enough that it's a trend.
Okay, well then I say we just jump to the news. Like we could talk about games that we've been playing later,
All right,
but there's a lot of
well,
stuff to show off.
let's start the show first. Let's actually get the show started.
Oh yeah, okay. So we'll
Yeah.
jump into news.
Right.
Roll credits.
This podcast discusses video games, modern culture, and technology, and these podcasters are big fat potty mouths. If you're younger than 18 or are easily offended, please stop this podcast now. Oh, and your mom says to take out the trash and do your homework.
No.
Hello and welcome to GameHounds. GameHounds episode 682, and Nick is very upset. What's going on?
I'm so conflicted.
Why?
The blanket that Jupiter usually sleeps on is rolled up. So he can't sleep there. And look at him. He looks like he's looking for it. I want to go roll it out, but I've got Shepard in my arms. And the moment I stand up, he's going to get angry.
Oh, he put him down. He'll live. He'll be right back up in a half a second. You know him. It's Shepard.
Oh.
Anyway, so we're not even going to talk news or talk what we've been playing because it's pointless. There's
I mean, look,
too much news to talk about because this is E3 week.
Yeah,
And
we
I'm
can
quoting that,
talk about
E3
it.
week.
We can talk about it later if there's time. I did play more Dragon's Dogma. I actually started Jedi Survivor. So like,
Oh, yeah. Thank you for giving me a heads up on Dragon's Dogma.
yeah. Was it really $5?
Yeah, $4.92.
Yeah, that's nuts.
Yeah.
Um.
I'm gonna start playing it tonight.
So yeah, I've got things to say, but we've already been talking about Starfield. You're like, hey, I bought the special edition. It's the kiss of death. I have been. Has we been talking? I've been like watching the direct and trying to read info about it because I foolishly did not do that ahead of time. I was just watching Netflix before coming on here.
Oh my god, really? Oh, I'm sorry. I should have
completely
said
blanked on the
something.
Xbox showcase.
Should have said something. I could have, because I mean, I was awake at 9:30, and that's when I knew, and nothing started
Mhm.
until 10, and I just didn't feel like getting up. But I should have sent you a message saying, "Hey, you're watching it, right?" Because that
Well-
would have saved you.
For what it's worth, The Night Agent on Netflix is actually a really good spy show.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, that's what I was watching.
Is
but-
the Night Agent the one with?
Kerry Russell?
No.
No, it's not.
Yeah, the one with Hugh Laurie. There's one that Hugh Laurie
No.
and Tom. Is it Tom Hiddleston? I think it is. No, it's really good.
Oh no, that's The Night Manager.
Yeah, the night manager. That's what it is, because he
that's a
was the
much older
night
one.
manager of a
hotel.
Hotel.
Yeah. No, yeah, that came out years ago, but that was also good. I think Starfield looks good. I thought it looked good when they showed it off, like a year ago, and everything they seem to be showing off now continues to make it look pretty good. I think it looks like a really interesting mix of. It looks like a big budget No Man's Sky. And as we were just saying, I've always liked No Man's Sky. And so to see someone kind of do the same general idea, here's a bunch of planets you can go to. Here's like resources to collect. Here's space combat and space exploration, but with a much higher budget that allows them to not only make it look better, but also just add in more mechanics like quests and story and narrative and characters. Planets with different gravity that like significantly changes how the gameplay works on those planets. Combat, better combat. I think all that looks really good. It's No Man's Sky with a huge budget, and I'm excited for that.
Yeah, I'm kind of I have great faith. Well, some faith, maybe not great, but a little faith that even if it comes out and it's not that great, they're going to fix it. And I think that that's kind of a thing that's happening. And it started with kind of No Man's Sky was the very first, and then nobody really wanted to do it after that because No Man's Sky took such crap. Then Cyberpunk very notoriously fixed the broke
I
far
think
after.
this year in particular feels like the year of broken games. Oh,
The year of broken
even
games.
last year.
And I think that it's no small part that this is like everything's gotten back into gear after 2 years of everybody, almost 3 now, of everybody getting being out of the office and working remotely.
Mhm.
That the workplace diaspora globally, we're still seeing that. We're absolutely still seeing that.
Yeah. But I think they've had enough time with it, and God knows Microsoft is putting all their eggs in this one basket. So and what's important is there's only one platform. I guess PC too,
PC.
right? Xbox and
Mhm.
PC. But I remember back when Skyrim first came out,
Mhm.
it was like, hey, if you got on 360, great. If you got on PlayStation 3, you were kind of fucked because the PlayStation 3 version of the game ran horribly.
Right.
So I think having fewer platforms to deal with is going to work to Bethesda's advantage to
Mhm.
allow them to ship a game that doesn't have the kind of notorious Bethesda jank that they're known for when a game first ships. So I think between all those things, fewer platforms, more time working on the game, uh, Microsoft being very heavily invested in not just the actual quality of the game, but the perceived quality of the game, means that it will probably ship in a pretty good state.
Yeah.
I will if it doesn't, I will write those words on a sticky note and eat that sticky note. I will eat my words, but I feel pretty confident in saying the game will ship well.
Mhm. Well, I'm gonna have faith in it. I would normally say that Todd being involved would be a really good thing, but he is the origin of the phrase seagulling a game. But I hope I like to at least think that simply because of the whole the expose of his inability to actually lead a team has because he can lead a team. He can lead a team. He's done it before. He's done it a lot. He just, I think, got complacent, and I'm hoping that huge expose was it Anthem? Was it Anthem?
Anthem.
No, it wasn't Anthem.
No, yeah, Anthem's a different studio.
Yeah, no. Some game that failed about Todd, like calling him, if you remember the phrase seagulling, that walk in, shit all over
Thank you,
everything and
Siri.
leave.
No, I don't think that was Todd Howard. I thought that was not the
I thought it,
Russos.
I
The GTA guys.
no, I think that was Todd seagulling. I'm looking it up. The Fallout 76. The human
Oh.
toll of Fallout 76's disastrous launch. Yeah, and that's where the phrase seagulling came in, that, fly in, shit all over everything, and then leave. That's I'm hoping that the that there was a wake up call to Todd to not do that again. That he has to remember how to lead a team, and he can't just be a superstar with his name on it. He can't just American McGee this fucker. So, so yeah.
So I guess okay. Backing up, taking a look at the week that was E3.
Mhm.
I think it's pretty safe to say that Xbox came out of it being winning the week and like the people's love. The Sony showcase a couple weeks ago, I think everyone was disappointed by them not showing off a lot of first party games. Like
Mhm.
we know they're working on a lot, and instead they kind of just said, "Hey, here's Spider-Man. Be happy with it." The Summer Games Fest, I think, was actually pretty good. I've seen some mixed reactions. Some people didn't like it. Other people were okay with it. I thought the number of games and stuff they announced were uh pretty good, pretty solid. I actually came out of it being like, hey, there's a lot of good things that I want to play from that.
Mhm.
The Xbox showcase, though, looking over it very quickly, like I said before the show, and even now, as I'm like still kind of scrolling through the announcements, it it kind of showed everything I wanted it to show. They showed off Avowed, which I'm excited for. They actually showed a trailer for Fable.
Yes, with Richard Ayoade, and I'm there for it. As soon as I saw that, I'm like, you're speaking my
Mhm.
fucking language. No gameplay, but a really good trailer.
No, which I will say, I'll have to like poke Microsoft a little. Before it, they tweeted like, "We're not just going to show a bunch of CG trailers this time. We're going to show gameplay." And the show opened with 3 CG trailers.
Yeah.
And it's like, sure, whatever you say. But the point is though, Fable looks funny. They also announced a game called South of Midnight,
Mhm.
from Compulsion Games, which is one of the studios they bought in their very first round of acquisitions. Like absolute first rounds of acquisition before Bethesda was even a consideration. They bought Compulsion Games,
Mhm.
and like they kind of haven't announced what they're doing. Turns out they're doing a game called South of Midnight. There's not a lot of information about it, but the trailer itself was actually really cool.
Right.
Neat art style, kind of a southern gothic, was it like New Orleans Bayou kind of action game. But what I personally loved is that the way the characters moved, they had just a little bit of jitter to them that made it look like stop motion as
Mhm.
opposed to, you know, being overly animated. And so I'm really down for that.
Yeah.
Then they announced Star Wars Outlaws, which is the Ubisoft game.
Mhm.
And we'll be getting more of this on Ubisoft's thing. I think it's either tomorrow or Tuesday. Uh, so I've been playing Star Wars Jedi Survivor, and I'm not as enjoying it as much as I thought I would be. So when I saw Star Wars Outlaws, I was like, oh, okay, another Star Wars game, whatever. But you know what? That CG trailer looks really, really good. Like it was well directed. And I was looking at that thinking, I want to watch that movie. I
Mhm.
have no idea what type of game it is. I have no idea how it will play, but it looks like a really, really good sci-fi action movie. And
Yeah.
so they the fact that they kind of managed to hook me, even though I was immediately turned off by the Star Wars brand,
Mhm.
I think it kind of says a lot.
It does. And I've seen nothing but a bunch of different outlets saying that Microsoft kind of brought it this time, that
Oh yeah.
they're who was it in VG247 said Microsoft is back, baby. That was their phrase about it. And I was like, I'm so pissed that I missed it because it has been rather lackluster up to this point. I mean, yeah, it's been interesting, but nothing really made me go, wow. So I'm glad Microsoft is now putting up because they needed to.
Yes, they did. And it helps that like even the non first party things that they announced looked really interesting. They announced Payday 3, which is kind of a long gestating game, long anticipated game. Like I said, they showed off Avowed, which is basically Obsidian's version of Skyrim. And based on the trailer, it looks interesting because there's a real big emphasis on magic. And so how magic, like, you can use it to like grab people in place, use it to freeze them. And that seems like a cool technique because magic in Skyrim was kind of just like a gun, is a magic gun.
Right.
They announced the crossover between Monkey Island and Sea of Thieves, which just seems like an absolute natural fit. More of Hellblade 2, which I wasn't a super fan of the first one, but like graphically, that game, it looks pretty awesome.
Yeah.
They announced Forza, there's a new Forza game coming out later this year. Surprise, surprise, in case you didn't know. What I thought was cool is Don't Nod, the developer of Life is Strange, making a game called Jusant. I think it's kind of like Ascent. But it's like just kind of this climbing game where you're playing as a little character climbing this giant fantasy mountain. And I love some climbing in games. I loved it in Assassin's Creed.
How is it
I
spelled?
loved it in Uncharted. Jusant. Jusant.
Okay.
And yeah, I thought it looks really
Alright.
cool.
I'm pulling it up because I want to see what this looks like. Let's see. All right, here's a trailer for it. Oop.
Yeah, and I know Don't Nod actually had another game at the Summer Games Fest, but I don't remember what it was. But they're definitely chugging out some games.
Yeah. So it's just
I think if you skip ahead to like the middle and you'll see a bit more mechanics.
Oh, I see. Essentially, it's all of the climbing on an Assassin's Creed, but none of the rest of the game.
Yeah, exactly. It's like Uncharted, but with none of the combat.
Right. Wow, this is kind of cool.
Yeah, I'm totally into this.
Yeah, I could see myself enjoying that. All right. So yeah, I'm all right with that. What else? Because remember, we're talking just about Microsoft. There was also an
I
EA
know.
showcase as well that you missed.
Wait, there was?
Yeah.
Oh, well, fuck you. Who cares?
It is E3 week. We're getting everything except PlayStation.
The Chinese Room, which is a developer I have very mixed feelings about. They specialize in the walking simulator games. They did Dear Esther, which kind of was the first game, and they followed that up. Well, no, then they did an Amnesia game, which I thought was okay. Then they did Everybody's Gone to the Rapture.
And you hated it. I really liked it. I really liked it.
The purest examples of pretentious, arty bullshit. And look,
I thought it was great. I love that game.
I love pretentious, arty bullshit. But Everybody's Gone to the Rapture was just dog shit.
Oh, I loved it.
I cannot express how much I hated it. So I have mixed feelings about their new game, which is at the Microsoft thing called.
In fact, I'm even bringing up Everybody's Gone to the Rapture so you can watch how glorious that game was. It was so amazing.
You want to walk half a mile per hour
Yes,
through some like
slow walking.
through some generally boring countryside, telling a story that is actually one of the most nihilistic and like depressing, hateful stories I've ever seen in any media. The whole game is basically like, hey, humanity's dead, and you know what? Maybe that was good. Like, fuck, man. Fuck.
I loved it for that. It was not even trying. It was just being what it wanted to be.
And
I
what it wanted to
loved
be was bad.
And I really enjoyed the story.
I hated it. I hated literally
It was very
everything.
Nietzsche, and I'm all right. I'm all right with that. I actually liked it. So anyway, so they've come back with
They've
another
come back with a game
masterpiece, I'm sure.
called Still Wakes the Deep,
Okay.
which fuck them for taking a sniper's aim at like, hey, how are we going to get Nick interested in our next pretentious bullshit? It's a horror game set on like what seems to be an abandoned oil rig,
Uh-huh.
like out in the middle of a storm.
Mhm.
And you know what? It looks fucking creepy as hell. God damn, it looks
Your problem with Rapture was not that it was a terrible game, but because it wasn't dark enough for you. If
No,
it
it was
hadn't
also a
been in
terrible
a
game.
beautiful countryside, you would have liked that game.
No, it was also just a terrible game.
Yeah,
like
this is you. This is all you.
this speaks to me. You give me any game of investigating like an abandoned location. I don't care if it's an oil rig or a spaceship or a cave or a house. I just want to like slowly walk through a creepy location, uncovering a mystery. So yeah, fuck the Chinese room. I'll be playing it.
All right. So, what else?
Keanu Reeves actually came.
Oh,
I
Keanu.
think he came back on stage
Yeah.
to announce the expansion to Cyberpunk.
Oh, okay. If Kevin were still alive, I think I would switch my gimme to Keanu. You know what a gimme is, right?
Yeah, except the thing is, Keanu would never do it because he's married and he's too good of a person to ever achieve.
I know. I agree. Completely agree with you. I still
AC Ray says, "Don't leave your house. You'll find Nick exploring it when you come back."
Yeah, my house is full of creepy stuff.
And you know what? I will say, like whenever I visit someone's house, one of the first things I do is I'm like, "What's on your shelves?" I want to see what's on your shelves and like use that to judge like what kind of person are you? What do you have on your shelves? What do you want to display? And I'm like, ooh, let me see that. Let me see that. Let me see that.
I feel that way about bookcases.
Oh, I love looking through other people's bookcases.
I that was actually a thing that helped me decide if I was going to date somebody was what was on their bookcase. Absolutely. That was you had to pass the bookcase test. And medicine cabinets.
See
That's
that's
a
a
lot about somebody.
That might be a little too personal for me. I'm not trying to like.
I was
be
always absolutely addicted to other people's medicine cabinets. Couldn't help myself.
Okay, so
I've gotten better. I've never looked in your medicine cabinet, Nick.
You're not gonna find anything that special. You're gonna find a lot of like stuff for bug bites.
Oh, okay. Good to know. I didn't know that.
Then there was a trailer for Cities Skylines 2.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah, oh god, the Cities community is just like pissing themselves about that game.
And now we are into the games that I was looking up ahead of time.
Mm-hmm.
And so now I'm just trying to vamp for time while I watch other trailers to try
Well,
to
we can watch the
describe
trailers
them.
together. Just put them together. We can watch them together. We can recreate.
Okay, Tower Bone is a game from the creators of the
What is
Banner
it?
Saga trilogy.
Tower Bone?
Tower Born. And the Banner Saga trilogy was like a pretty great not point and click, tactics trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is like a multiplayer game,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not a tactics game. It's like a hack and slash. So it's like the complete opposite direction from what the developer did before.
Mm-hmm.
Like a 4-player side-scrolling beat 'em up.
Let's see. I'll raise the volume a little bit so we can enjoy it.
Here, in the belfry.
The belfry. That's a word that doesn't get used enough.
To find the origins of this evil.
I like the art style. It's
Mhm.
cell shade.
And bring hope back to our people.
Co-op. That's kind of oh wow, that looks good. Oh, I am looking forward to playing this with you, Nick.
Right? Yeah, this
Seriously. Oh my god. This looks cool. It looks like it wants to be a side scroller, but it's kind of like a 3D side scroller.
yeah, the perspective
It's almost
is
right. The
changing.
perspective changes. It's not just always from a 90 degree. It looks like it also goes isometric as well.
Together, you can save humanity.
Okay, I'm in. I am totally down for that, especially 2024. What a shame. Okay, well, things happen that way. I am totally in for that, and it is going to be Game Pass. How many was that, Nick? 6? I wasn't looking. Game Pass. Yeah, I am, and we will have many nights playing that together.
Yeah, I would absolutely pick that up on Game Pass.
Yep.
Before that, they announced Metaphor Re-Fantasio, which, if you can't tell from the name, is a JRPG.
Yeah.
What's interesting about it is it comes from Studio Zero, which is basically a bunch of people who worked on Persona 3 and Persona 4.
Mm-hmm.
And this looks like a Persona game.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
By the way, the Persona 4 remake has been confirmed.
Oh, yeah. They also announced briefly like a Persona Tactics game. Persona
Yeah.
5 Tactics. But like, yeah, the art style of this just screams Persona, even down to the menus that they show.
Yeah. I'm into this.
Like, look at that menu.
Yeah. It's Persona. It's, oh my god, even that menu, Persona. It's just Persona with a different skin.
Mm-hmm.
New bonding, creating bonds and characters for second, third, fourth, and having a party where you can switch out members of your party. Looks exactly the same as Persona. Yeah, this is absolutely. I'm good with it. I know that we're watching this. I'm wondering if this is just because I picked up the Japanese version, or if there's going to be an English dub. I can't imagine they wouldn't have an English dub.
There might be a dub. The trailer's in Japanese.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, I'll do that. I'm not as into those games as I used to be, simply because Persona has absolutely it drained me because I played so much of it and I never got to the end of any of them. Actually, I take it back. One of them I did. I got to the end of one of them, but it took so long that you could only do one every few years. Otherwise,
Mhm.
that's all you would play. So yeah, I'm okay with it, but it's kind of funny that they didn't even like try to skin some things differently. It's just
They
complete lift
I
from
mean,
Persona.
those people, they all work on Persona. They know Persona. They made a game that looked like that.
Mhm. And it seems odd because they're obviously want to attract Persona fans to
Yes.
create this whole different world with the same structures. Everything feels so familiar to you. It's just like coming home and gives you a big hug, except they've got Persona games coming out. So they're kind of competing with themselves
Yeah, but like I
for the
imagine
audience. I'm not saying it's a small audience, but it is a specific audience.
but I do imagine the people that love Persona would be happy to have another game that kind of looks like that because there's not a whole lot that looks like that. It's a it Persona has such a slick anime art style. There's so many other
Music. It's the music.
there's so many other
Oh,
JRPGs that
amazing.
try to do it that just don't. In a lot of JRPGs, I think the anime art style comes off as kind of cheap looking, like kind of a way to save on budget.
Mhm.
Persona makes it look expensive. It makes
Yes.
it look slick and stylish.
Yes, absolutely.
And so, you know what? Like, kudos to Metaphor Refantazio, trying to rip off Persona's style and actually succeeding is really, really hard.
Mhm.
That's like, hey, we're gonna rip off Indiana Jones and we're gonna make it better.
Right.
And
Well,
it's like,
we'll
it's like,
we'll see. We'll see. It's we're just saw the trailer.
true.
You
But
know,
like, I don't know what the
you
gameplay is
can't
gonna
really
be like.
appreciate what Persona is from a trailer. You kind of have to look at it and be in it to realize how slick it is and how it
Yes,
feels.
yes. But
You know.
at least from the trailer, it looks like, hey, if you're gonna rip off something, rip off the best version of something.
Right. So what else?
Capcom announced Path of the Goddess, which
Mhm.
kind of looks like a Diablo-esque, like top-down isometric beat 'em up game.
Mhm. Let's take a look.
In the trailer, there's not a whole lot of gameplay. The first gameplay is like in 1 minute and 40 seconds in, or like 1 minute and 30.
Yeah. So we want to go. Well, this is only 25 seconds long. When was this?
Oh,
Yeah, that's all out of that one. Let me see if there's a different one to find.
yeah.
Uh,
The AC Wraitha specified that Metaphor is from Atlas, which is the publisher of Persona 3, Persona 4, and Persona 5. So they
Mhm.
are ripping off themselves.
Yes. Yeah, that's the whole thing.
Mhm.
All right, so here's the actual gameplay. All right, we're moving into the gameplay. Wow, this does look cool. I mean, I don't do fighting games, but this is really good looking.
But I don't think this is a fighting game. It looks like Diablo.
Oh,
Like,
you're right.
you
I'm
know,
sorry. I thought you. I don't know why I thought fighting game. Yeah, it does look like Diablo. Boy, it looks good. Boy, it looks good.
yeah. It's a cool
I hope
cool
that you're
style.
seeing this. I know that you kind of get slightly less quality when I'm streaming trailers, but I will say right now, I'm watching the trailer natively. It looks amazing. I wonder what engine they're using.
If it's Capcom, it just might be the RE engine.
It might be. Wow, that looks really neat. Do we have a date? Do we have a date? Do we have a date?
I don't think so.
Date, please. No,
Play
we
it day
do
one with
not.
Game Pass.
We don't have a date. Oh well. No, we do. So, what else?
Then I think the other last thing of note is a game called what was it? Clockwork Revolution, which kind of looks like a Bioshock Infinite-esque shooter where you
Mhm.
manipulate time. And it comes from In Exile, which is a developer that's generally known for their RPGs. So kind of
Mhm.
having them make a shooter is an interesting it's
Right.
excuse me.
Oh, this feels very yeah, I'm having the brain cramp. The underwater with the little kid and the big daddy.
Delicately balanced.
Yeah,
Big
Bioshock.
daddies. Bioshock. This says
Yeah.
feels very Bioshock.
On AC Rates says that I guess people are describing Path of the Goddess as an action game, less of an RPG than Diablo,
But it only
Okay.
takes one rebellious little gear.
which makes sense. Capcom kind
ruin
of specializes in that type of
everything.
action game.
Wow.
If you resist my rule,
This looks good.
Gotta have a steampunk gun.
if you alter our past, if you threaten what I have built, there is nowhere in space or time where I will not destroy you.
This looks really good.
Hmm.
Oh God. Yeah, it feels very Bioshock. Not Bioshock. Yeah, Bioshock. So it looks like you're trying to change the past in order to stop a
Oh no. What did I do?
dictator.
Any last words before my friend puts one in your scalp?
All right. In
Oh,
due
hey.
time.
And I guess based on the little ad that popped up, there's a Citizen Sleeper 2 coming that was shown off at the PC Gaming Show.
All right. Well, might as well
That's
pull
good.
that up. Sure.
I'd heard
Hey,
exceptionally positive things about
Really.
Citizen Sleeper.
All right. Let me see if I can pull it up because it wants to not do it. All right.
Well,
so
okay,
let's
before
do
you
it.
do that, I guess
Yeah.
the last big thing from the Xbox showcase is that they announced a new console, which is an Xbox Series
Right.
S with a 1
1
terabyte
terabyte.
SSD.
Yeah. And it's what, $399?
Oh,
I forget the price. I kind of saw it. in
350.
passing.
350.
That's
So it's basically they're putting a big hard drive in their low end console, which makes sense because that was the diskless version. So that console, all you can do is install games. So they should put in a bigger hard drive.
yeah, it does need it. But you can also get an external hard drive for that.
Yeah, you can. But hey, now it comes with an SSD.
Right. Well, how much would it cost to buy the smaller one and an SSD? An
The
external.
the expandable Xbox hard drives were like absurdly expensive.
Yeah. All right. That makes sense. All right. Anything else?
I would switch over to the Summer Games Fest, which, okay, open a trailer for Pal World. PALWORLD. I'm not going to tell you anything about it, and it doesn't necessarily look like a game I'm interested in, but the trailer has one of the funniest, wildest twists.
Okay. Oh, it's hitching for me. There we go.
Okay.
All right. Oh. Kind of Hold on.
Cute little guys.
Yeah, sorry. The audio was struggling with you. Yeah, it looks kind of like, like a Final Fantasy game. Third person game.
And then,
And
oh,
then
I hope it didn't miss. There's
a little bit of Animal Crossing. Yeah, all right. Looks
and then,
what?
and then he pulls out a minigun and just starts going to town.
Whoa. Oh my oh my god. Oh, wow. This will either work or absolutely not work.
It's like Pokemon, but
with
guns and explosions
and
like
being enslaved.
Pokemon on a forced assembly line making assault rifles.
Oh, that's weird. That's very weird. Oh, hold on, Zayda's doing it again. All right.
Like I said, I have no idea if it will be good or not, but that trailer is just hilarious.
All right, so next.
Okay, next they showed off Mortal Kombat 1.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? It looks like Mortal Kombat.
I'm not going to pull it up because everybody already knows what that looks like.
What's funny, I will say, is the violence has gotten like so detailed. I think it has passed the threshold from like, oh, that's disturbing to, oh, this is back to cartoon.
Yeah.
It's returned to being cartoonish because it's just so over the top. They had a bit of extended gameplay from Alan Wake 2.
Mm-hmm.
I know it was first shown off at the Sony showcase, and we got more gameplay here, and goddamn, it looks really good.
All right. Oh, hold on. Not the reaction. Just want the gameplay. Let's take a look. This was 2 weeks ago. When did we see this? When was the
Summer Games Fest?
Was
like about a week ago.
11 days ago. No, 3 days ago. New gameplay demo. Yeah, that's got to be it.
Oh, yeah, it might have been 3 days ago.
Yeah. All right. So it looks like it's live. So we'll see. Yeah, it looks like an Alan Wake.
Mm-hmm. But like,
and you loved Alan Wake. I did not.
I loved Alan Wake. Alan Wake. It's everybody's gone to the rapture, but reversed.
Yes. See, this is the same thing for me. It's a walking simulator, but you could die.
But like, it's a spooky walking simulator.
Yeah, and I found Everyone's Gone to the Rapture being very spooky, but it didn't need the ambiance to do it. It had this horrible story that you had to figure out what was going on.
You can skip ahead. There's quite a bit of this.
Yeah. All right. Oh, no. That's the interview.
Yeah. Skip back a little bit more, and they showed off a little bit of combat. Yeah, it should be.
There we go.
And so I think from here you can see that there's still the mechanic of using the light to burn the shadows off of them.
Right.
And
they still take a lot of freaking.
And they've still got the dodge button, which was super useful.
Yeah.
That dodge is a lifesaver.
And the fact that it took so many bullets, that's what I hated about Alan Wake. I
think as long as they pace it right, that just makes each combat scenario intense, I think.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons I didn't like it. I found it to be too intense all the time. So it got to the point where I wouldn't move forward because I was afraid I didn't have enough bullets, or So I just was paralyzed. It's like, why go forward? I can't go forward. I don't have
See,
enough bullets.
That's the best kind of horror game. I felt that way
Yeah.
playing Dead Space.
See, if I don't feel like I can get forward, I'm gonna stop.
The text on the heart is clearer now.
And so yeah, you're investigating and you find a tattooed heart in a freezer.
I knew it would
That's
be
kind of
here.
cool.
That's
I
cool.
saw it in a dream.
So yeah, they show off Alan Wake 2 continues to look really cool.
Mm-hmm.
They showed off
Glad you're
more
on this
of
case
Final
with me,
Fantasy
Anderson.
Rebirth, which is Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2.
Right.
And it looks like in this part you have left the big city that 1 took place in, and so it looks like it's going to be a big open world, or at least somewhat of an open world.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's like quite on the level of something like Dying Light or Horizon or one of those games, but more open than the streets of the city were in the first game.
Right.
They announced, they showed more from Spider-Man 2, which hey, looks like Spider-Man 2. They announced Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis, which I think looks kind of interesting because it's an iOS.
Wait, hold a second. Your audio is dipping out. What did you say?
Can you hear me?
I can.
It's an iOS game.
Oh.
It's an iOS and Android.
Mm-hmm.
But it looks to be a
Mobile.
pretty a AAA RPG for mobile devices. But what got me about it is the art style, because like Final Fantasy VII, the original game, this one seems like it switches between a chibi version of the characters when they're in cutscenes and out in the world.
What was the name of it?
Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis.
Okay.
And if you skip to 50 seconds.
3 days ago. There we go. I am doing that now. We are skipping to 50 seconds and stand by.
So you see there's like a chibi version of the characters in the cutscenes. And then when you get into combat, you get the more realistically proportioned characters.
Right. Interesting.
And that just harkens back to the original game in a way that I find kind of cool, kind of cute. It's also nice that even though it's named Final Fantasy VII, it's not just retelling the same goddamn story. It looks like it's a side story or whatever. I have no idea how it will play as an RPG, but I will say, after playing so much Marvel Snap, I want something on my phone. Like, I want a good, solid RPG on my phone.
What did
that I
it
can
say
play.
for the sign up for the closed beta test on Android? What was it? What did it say? June 8th through 23rd, or June 8th through June 28th. So right now. But it's only a beta test on Android. Do they have a beta test on? See, pre-registration begins now. Sign up for the closed beta test on Android, and that's it. So they're only closed beta testing Android. Yeah, that actually looks really good for a mobile game.
There was another mobile game. There's like King Arthur Legends Rise that is like a squad focused RPG that's on mobile that is like, you know what, that could be kind of interesting. The other Don't Nod game is called Banishers: Ghosts of New Eden.
AC Ray says it's a multiverse. They should add Kang and tie it to Kingdom Hearts with their Disney licenses.
Oh God, no! Keep it. The more things you keep away from Kingdom Hearts, the better.
Okay. Anyway, you were saying, what's this other game that you were talking about?
Banishers: Ghosts of New Eden, which is just the gamiest ass game name that you could name your game.
Yeah.
But this is the other one from Don't Nod. People who did a Jasant at the Xbox Showcase, famous for Life is Strange. and it's only a CG trailer. There's no gameplay. But you know what? It looked kind of cool. It's like a creepy going around. Do we banish the ghosts or do we like not banish them? And it looks like the main character is haunted by the ghost of a dead loved one. So it's a very narrative driven action game, it looks like, which Don't Nod kind of
Yeah.
does a lot of.
I like this. And I also like Don't Nod games very, very much.
They did Vampire. That was the other game that they did.
Vampire was another really, really, really good game. So I'm super okay with this. And so do we have any gameplay or is it just
It's just
trailer?
CG. Just
Okay.
CG.
Oh no, there's gameplay.
Oh, okay. Very brief amount of gameplay.
Oh wow, that's kind of neat. Okay, end of 2023. I will be looking for that one.
That's surprisingly soon.
Yeah.
Going on, continuing with the Chinese's room. Hey, on oil rig scary. There's a game called Under the Waves, which looks to be a narrative-driven Subnautica game, where you play as a guy who's been underwater for like 3 years by himself.
Is the ocean become the new zombies?
Water is the new zombies.
Water is the new zombies. Like, first it was zombies are the new Nazis. Then it became Vikings are the new zombies because then Nazis became not funny anymore because we really have Nazis now.
Yeah.
So they had to begin the new zombies. So then it was Vikings. And then now it's the ocean, I guess, is the new zombies.
But you know what? I am so into. Like, the ocean is scary as hell.
You and I, sir, should get our diving license together.
Oh, jeez. Like, it would be awesome. It would be cool.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong.
I don't have actually, it's kind of funny. I have a gift certificate for Kevin and me that was part of our wedding present 20 years ago to get diving licenses. That's what my brother gave me for my wedding present. And we didn't do it. And I kind of always regretted it because the few times that I have been underwater, there's this thing you can do in the Caribbean called a snuba, which is essentially you have a tank up top and you just have very long, I forget what that's kind of diving is called, but it's a tank up top and you have a long cable into a mouthpiece. So you're essentially underwater, but without the tanks. The tank is floating above you. And it was a moment where my recognition of my world changed considerably in the same way that the first time I ever flew had that way, where all of a sudden you realize that you've been living on 2D and the world is really truly 3D and that this whole thing above you. But even more so because when you get under the water and you see out there and you realize there's more of Earth than you ever thought there was. Like there's this whole world underneath there that you are not part of until you actually literally immerse yourself into it. It's a really amazing feeling. So yeah, I would, you, me, and Rachel, let's go get our freaking diving licenses together. That might be fun.
Yeah.
Of course, that's gonna, once you do, if you really like it, once you do, you're wrecked. It's going to change where you go on vacation for the rest of your lives. Egads, Edie, we actually had coral reefs back then. Yes, we did. Hey, Bitters, how are you? First, we fought ninjas, and you're right. Okay, so there were ninjas, and then Nazis became. Was it ninjas or was it Nazis? Because I mean, I think that Castlevania kind of was the Nazis, right? That's when
No, not Castlevania. Wolfenstein.
Wolfenstein. That's what I meant. Wolfenstein became the new So what was earlier? What was like the early popular ninja game?
Ninja Gaiden?
Maybe I never played Ninja Gaiden because this goes, I think, prior to me actually playing games.
I know Nazis were really big in like the PS2 era because there were a whole bunch of World War II shooters then.
Okay, so it was Nazis, and then ninjas became the new Nazis, and then zombies became the new ninjas.
Yeah,
And
maybe
then Vikings became the new.
I think there might be aliens in between Nazis and zombies. I think there's like a flood of alien games because you had Halo, you had Resistance, Fall of Man.
Yep. Shinobi Double Dragon. Knitter
I
says
don't know.
Ninja Gaiden. Yep. All right. So,
We
all
got
right.
ninjas, Nazis, aliens, zombies, Vikings,
Vikings,
water.
water. All right. Aliens predate ninjas, he says.
I feel like aliens are kind of evergreen. Aliens are eternal. They're
Yeah,
always
but
popular
Aliens
with
was
people.
like Aliens was kind of like the first. It was the first of the, themes. And this goes all the way back to the beginning of games.
Yeah.
Slightly past Pong. That's when we got in Aliens.
E.T.
I see. More like in comics, there was also an ape's face. Oh yeah.
What the fuck was going on in comics? Like King Kong ape or like Ape
Planet
Escape?
of the Ape. Planet of the Apes he's talking about. Like that kind of as opposed to Bored Ape Club, which is a whole other thing, which I guess makes apes evergreen.
Nah, screw those apes.
They're not real apes.
Okay, next trailer. And
yes,
this is a trailer you need to bring up.
Okay.
Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown.
Okay.
When I saw this, I got kind of excited because hey, it's a new Prince of Persia game. And it looks like it balances some really intricate like juggling combat with platforming that kind of reminds me of Super Meat Boy.
Mm-hmm.
It apparently is being very, very poorly received on almost every social media.
I think I heard about this. Like everybody hates it because it looks bad.
But see, I don't think it looks bad.
It
has like a hip hop style to it. There's a lot of rap music in the trailer, and I think that rubbed people along the wrong way because they don't want rap in their fantasy stuff. But I don't know. I think it kind of worked.
Then again, they weren't prepared for me.
Like, I think that combat looks cool.
I think the combat looks cool, but I don't think it looks like Prince of Persia.
But see, I think it looks like a mix. I think it's an interesting evolution of the series because Prince of Persia has always been about platforming. Oh, jeez.
Uh-oh. What's the emergency?
Missing endangered adult.
Okay. Well, I'll probably get it any moment now.
Hey, Shepard. It's okay. But yeah, I think the trailer looks good. Like Prince of Persia, even going back to the first one, has always been about this interesting balance between combat and platforming. Like I don't think people remember the sword fights in the original Prince of Persia back when it was like attack, block, attack, block, attack, block, and that's all you did. It was really, really exciting. And this just looks like it adds a whole bunch more mechanics on top of that same basic foundation. And so I think this is an interesting, not return to form, but like an evolution of the original. Kind of, if you look at Prince of Persia, And that series branched off into the Sands of Time, which then
Mhm.
branched off into Assassin's Creed. This is like an alternate evolutionary path for the franchise, which I think is interesting, but apparently I'm in the minority of that.
Yeah, even I've heard the complaints about Prince of Persia, the new Prince of Persia. So
Hey, you know what? They haven't made a new Prince of Persia in like a decade. Just give me Prince of Persia. That's all I care about. Give me my prince.
I think that they feel exactly the same way, and that's what's making them hate it, is that they waited for a decade, and this is what they get.
Well, you know what? Shut up. That's what I say.
Okay,
I say shut up.
let me get my moment. Let me like this. Let me like this. All right.
They showed off Path of Exile 2, which
Mhm.
Path of Exile is the free-to-play top-down RPG reminiscent of Diablo. And so having Path of Exile 2 announced right as Diablo 4 comes out, it seems like good timing.
Mhm.
Summer Games Fest had its own Keanu Reeves moment when they got Nicolas Cage to come out on stage and talk about his character being a
Dead
new
by Daylight.
survivor in Dead by Daylight.
Yeah.
And you know what? To his credit, he was out there talking about the game, not reading from a teleprompter, just like talking about the game in a level of detail that's like, oh, this dude's a fucking nerd. He might actually play Dead by Daylight. He named dropped Sadako.
Okay. All right. All right. We're gonna watch this if we can. Let's see. Is this the right one? Summer Games Fest 2023. Let me go. All right. Let's see. Here we are.
Finally, I mean, I gotta say, this is such a crazy, unexpected collaboration. I gotta understand, how did this come about? I mean, some people be like, oh, maybe he'll show up in Fortnite, maybe he'll be in a Hideo Kojima game, but Dead by Daylight, I mean, how does this happen?
Well, it's a museum of horror.
Museum
right?
of horror, right?
When I make movies, one of my favorite genres is horror. And in this and in that genre, there's a character, a murderous ghost named Sadako, who I think is amazing. And she made an appearance in this game. So that was
She's
good
from The
enough for me.
Ring.
Okay. That's what, yeah. I mean, that's what's fun is you're playing one of the survivors in this game, and it's cool that it really is this museum of horror. Michael Myers, you said all these different characters all coming together. And you play yourself, or who do you play?
So I play this heightened, exaggerated version of a film actor named Nick Cage. He's going to a location thinking he's making a movie, and instead he wakes up in the fog. And in the fog, he's surrounded by crows and serial killers, and it's rather amusing. And there's something about it that I think, as a survivor, is like a bonding experience. It's a bit like hide and go seek. You have your 3 other teammates who are survivors with you, and it's teamwork. You're working together to pull through. And
Well,
I like
he
that.
knows the game.
And so that was a large reason for wanting to do it as well, that feeling of bonding with your friends.
And you're fully influenced. I know we heard your voice in there, so you recorded lines for it and everything.
See, I want you to know when you're playing the Nick Cage survivor, I even have, when you're choosing your skins, I even say, always remember to dress to match your talent. I want you to know that you're with me, that we're one, that we're fused. And so it was important to me that everything I do, everything I say, from the scream to the grunt down to the most minimal exasperated expression of a sigh, whatever it is, it's my voice, so that we are fused.
All right.
Wow, that's impressively cogent for a man who's kind of has a reputation for being a little bit out there.
Yeah. Like he's out there, but he knows how to express his out there-ness in a way that makes you go, fuck yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Well, the thing is that there's a self
Awareness.
awareness, a self-awareness that I didn't know Nick Cage had.
You should watch the movie called The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. It has Nicolas Cage playing a version of himself. And what's so funny about the movie is, like, it starts as one movie and then slowly over the course changes into a different movie, which mimics the arc of the script that he's trying to write in the movie. And so, like, the movie that they're writing becomes the movie you're watching in like a fun meta way. But it's like it's about him going undercover with what he thinks is a drug kingpin, or like the FBI recruits him to go undercover with this drug dealer to try to like find evidence against him. And it's a good fun movie.
All right, I'm pulling up the trailer. And it has that same kind of awareness.
What's the
Oh,
worry
oh yeah.
here, Nick? You've lost some of your
It's Nick.
talent as an
There's a
actor?
younger version of Nicolas Cage that's like, "You're a terrible guy. You're a terrible actor. You need to get it together."
He loves you, but he went in a different direction.
Well, when did this come out?
A couple years ago.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and it's worth it.
I think so. I thought it was a fun movie.
I'm looking for the younger version of Nick Cage.
What is your favorite movie? That's one of those questions that's impossible to answer. You can't just limit it to one.
Looks like a great movie.
Yeah. Skip ahead. You'll have to find him in the end.
Wow.
Yeah.
It seems a bit... All right, it seems like it's along those same lines of JCVD, the movie or the show. By the way, if you have not watched JCVD with Jean-Claude Van Damme, so freaking good. Such a good movie. So good. And it starts with Jean-Claude Van Damme being a washed up action star.
Mm-hmm.
And he plays himself as he's washed up. Yeah.
That was a good one. Those types of movies where you have the actor playing an exaggerated version of themselves are always
like being John
fun times.
Malkovich.
Oh yeah. But
that was the first one of those.
That was just fucking weird.
That was such a great. I wanted to be in the room where that was pitched to John Malkovich.
You have to wonder, did the script begin as being John Malkovich, or did it begin as being
somebody?
What actor can we get?
It had to have been being John Malkovich, because it only works with Malkovich, who he was at the time. Like being Danny DeVito, it would not have worked.
No.
Yeah. Even I've seen JCVD. JCVD's masterpiece. But if you haven't, go watch it tonight. Just stop what you're doing, whatever your Sunday plans are, watch it tonight. Worth every moment. All right, so next.
They had a trailer for Witcher 3, or they had a trailer for The Witcher Season 3, which kind of felt like we need something to fill in the airtime. They showed off a game called Witchfire, which looked like a pretty interesting, fast-paced first-person shooter.
It did. Let me pull that up, because even I saw that. Mostly because the name is, and the just like the name and the screen, like the artwork for it that you see, it was just kind of like, oh, I want to see what that is. It's compelling.
I'm kind of into any first-person game that has a dodge button, and this one definitely has a dodge.
Yeah. Oh, EC Ray says, yeah, don't forget Bruce Campbell in My Name is Bruce. Yep, another one. Oh, it just looks so cool to me. It just looks so cool. And I'm all about that. I'm really surprised.
About what?
I'm really surprised I haven't gotten that emergency alert.
Oh, maybe it's just my area.
Yeah, it might be. But I did get a very strange message from a Gmail account to my text, which always makes me think that it's going to be spam, or like scammer. That says, How are you, Annie?
Oh,
But
I
it's
feel like
like the name, like the username, like the Gmail account is A280466793 at Gmail. And it's like, no. But
that
this
seems
is
suspicious.
unusual. This is very unusual that I would get
That's an
one
impressively vague spam
impressive. And
email.
I've been getting, I don't know if you've been getting them. I've been getting a ton of them of like, your Netflix
Mhm.
is canceled or UPS can't deliver to your address. Just on a daily basis, I'm getting one. So I'm on somebody's list.
I've been getting a lot of calls to my phone.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, a
ACRS
lot
says,
of
I've
air
been getting air
quality
quality
alerts.
alerts. Yeah. Hey, remember back in the day when we had our day of orange?
Mhm.
Now you know what it looked like. We
Yeah.
woke up in the morning and that's what we had.
So what's funny, just like a little diversion from the game stuff. My work is shutting down on the first week of July.
Mhm.
And so me and Rachel have been planning like some sort of vacation to do in that time. Right now, we've settled
Right, you
on
were gonna
kind
go
of
to Canada.
we
You were gonna go to Banff.
we were going to go to Canada, but we got lazy and just never made the reservations or the trips. And so then when we start looking at it, we're like, this is really expensive.
It's very expensive. Banff is terribly expensive.
Yeah. But also just like getting there, flights
Uh-huh.
at this point.
Yep.
So then we decided, you know what, we're just gonna kind of take a road trip down south, and we're gonna like go to Monterey, go to Carmel, Big Sur, just like kind of hang out down there. And then these Canadian fires happened, and we were like, oh, we kind of dodged a bullet.
Yeah, you did.
So yeah, this is not the time to take a trip to Canada.
Yeah. It's a shame you don't have dogs because there's a hotel in Carmel, which is known as the friendliest place in America for dogs.
Hmm.
And it was owned by Doris Day, and she was a huge animal lover. And this hotel is essentially created around dogs, like you bringing your dog. And where they even have like dog mixers every afternoon. And every single room is dog friendly. And, the dogs have like their own menu that they can order from room service. And
Oh,
the
gee.
whole thing is just like all about the dogs. And
Okay.
I was thinking of going down there for the death anniversary because I don't like to be. I don't want to be around for the death anniversary. Certainly don't want to be just hanging out in the house watching television. That's a bad idea, especially with Bevmo delivering. That would be really bad. So I was looking at a place, and unfortunately, because it's this year, the death anniversary is on the weekend in the second week of July, and it's like, fuck, everything was full a month ago.
Mhm.
And so, yeah, I wanted to go there, and there was no room, and they put me on a wait list. But at this point now, it's too late. I don't think I'll even get on the wait list. But I did make a reservation for a place up in Mendocino.
Oh, nice.
It's a dog-friendly
place.
hotel right on the ocean, and there is a dog beach like 10, 15 minutes from where it is. So I'm just gonna go to the dog beach every single day. And
That's cool.
I have to make a reservation for that. I forgot about that. We have up there, there's a train called the Skunk Train that kind of takes you on these, trips around that whole area, and it's gorgeous. One of them allows dogs. So we're gonna go take a dog skunk train.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I imagine a dog on a train they'd probably really enjoy it.
Yeah,
If they enjoy a car ride, they'd enjoy a train ride.
absolutely. And yeah, we're gonna go out. I'm gonna go for the deluxe version, which is wherever you go, it's like somewhere, and there's this big like area with hiking and meadows and stuff. And if you pay for the deluxe version, then you can they bring a picnic lunch for you. So me and the dogs are gonna go on a picnic lunch in this
Nice.
area, and then go for a little hike.
That sounds like a good time.
AC Ray says, there used to be a place around Cornwall we'd suffer. Oh, talking about My family only goes to Canada for Chinese food.
What?
And it's been decades since I've been there. And you're right on the Canadian border, which is crazy to me. He says, there used to be a place around Cornwall. We'd suffer not only the trip, but the rotten egg air just to get to a Chinese restaurant my grandparents liked.
That is dedication to that restaurant.
Mm-hmm. Hey, good Chinese food, man. It's when my favorite Chinese restaurant closed, I still grieve. The loss of Taiwan restaurant. Because my parents discovered Taiwan restaurant when I lived in Berkeley, and we left Berkeley when I was 6. So I remember it like age 5 and age 4 at being in this place, and was going there on a regular basis until it closed, which was like 2 years ago, 3 years ago. COVID killed it.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. And my favorite dishes from when I was a kid tasted exactly the same.
That's nice.
Exactly. Their General Tso's chicken and their not Mongolian beef. Their was it Taiwan beef? No, not something. But it was a beef dish. Oh my God. Both of them so good, and recommended to people. And it's like, hey, yeah. And they're open until 3:00 in the morning. And people be like, yeah, it looks dodgy. And then they'd go and it's like, holy shit, that's good Chinese food. It's like, I know. Mandarin, not Mandarin beef.
Mandarin beef is a thing. Yeah.
Was it Mandarin beef? No, it was
Mongolian
something.
beef, Mandarin beef.
Was it Mandarin beef? I don't know if it's Mandarin. I think it might have been Mandarin beef. So good. Ah. And I have a feeling it was the same old man that was cooking, because when I went there, like when I was in my 40s and 50s, the man that worked there was as old as dirt. The guy in the kitchen, old as dirt. The man had to have been 85, 86. I mean, he was old.
I wonder if
because everything tasted the same, I'm thinking it was the same guy that was cooking the whole time.
I wonder if something happened to him and that's why it had to close, because he was the restaurant at that point.
No, it wasn't him. It was a combination of COVID and the landlord of the building. Just after 45 years, just said, "Yeah, we're kicking you out," because it was on University and Shattuck in Berkeley, which are like kind of a spendy area. Yeah, I was trying to convince my brother that we should probably get like a massive loan and build a restaurant underneath his house in Berkeley, like raise a house, build a restaurant underneath, and then invite the Taiwan restaurant to come and be there, because it would have instantly been a hit because people love that restaurant.
What the fuck, AC Ray? This comment, there's so many ways. I don't think there's a Taiwanese food near me. I had a Taiwanese best friend in grade school. I was too young to eat her. Too bad. Last I heard, she became a doctor.
What? Oh my God. Our chat room just goes fully off the rails. Anyway, moving right along. Games. That's right. We're talking about games.
Games. You know what? Speaking of on the rails, open the trailer for John Carpenter's Toxic Commando. So John Carpenter has kind of been infamous for that dude loves games. And the game that he's making looks like could be a really cool Left 4 Dead, Back 4 Blood-esque multiplayer shooter. I think you can skip forward like a minute because it's a lot of build up.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh God, that looks awesome. Oh my gosh, this is gonna get me demonetized. This is gonna get us a copyright struck. So we're going to not be playing that music. But this freaking looks amazing.
Right? It's got the classic Left 4 Dead, Back 4 Blood. But
Yeah.
it also looks like you get a car that you can drive around. Like you can have someone
Yeah.
outside the car. It's kind of like this a weird open world. Back 4 Blood.
The car makes me feel like I'm getting kind of flavors of what was that game that was really 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 good until you got to the end and it was the post game Outlanders.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It has that
No.
feeling of like Outlanders with the
Outriders?
was it Outriders?
Outriders? Outlanders? It was out something. I know what you're talking about though. The
Yeah,
third
but
person
that
game.
whole like the driving thing with in shooting from driving that absolutely feels like that. Like where was it that something all of a sudden made me think of it? Yeah, this, but it's zombies instead of aliens.
Mhm. We're back to zombies.
Yeah,
Look,
we're back to
John
zombies.
Carpenter's a couple years behind the train.
Yeah, but John Carpenter is the king of zombies. If
Oh, yeah.
John Carpenter ever made aliens, I would wonder what was going on with John Carpenter.
Oh, but you know
It's like if
what?
Stan Lee did a romance novel. We're a little
Nah,
concerned.
you say that, but John Carpenter making a movie in the alien universe?
It was be great.
Oh, that would
This
be good.
this looks like fun.
This
Total full blown fun.
this just looks like good stupid fun.
Oh yes. I am all there for this. Oh gosh, we are playing the crap out of that game, Nick. We are playing the absolute shit out of that game. And it's coming looks like it's coming to PlayStation.
Yeah, I'm not
Not just
surprised. I think
PC.
it's coming like everywhere.
All right. Yeah, we're appointment. That is an appointment between you and me in 2024.
Okay.
Mark that down, AC Wraith. Nick and I have an appointment to play that game. I'm good. We're going to be playing that day one. And I don't care if you're busy or you're going out with Rachel. No. I'm claiming that day.
That day.
Now.
You were there
Your
first.
mother's birthday. Fuck that. No, I'm claiming that day of release. That weekend is mine.
Okay.
As your friend.
The Toxic Commando weekend.
Toxic Commando weekend is ours.
Okay.
You said okay. You agree?
Yes, I agree.
Write that down. Nick promises that Toxic Commander weekend is my weekend. And watch me have to be doing something.
Yeah, really. I'm sorry. I've got to watch my Tesla.
Right, unless I'm out of town. All right. So next item.
They showed off a trailer for more trailers for Baldur's Gate 3, which is something that we've seen a lot of, but this is just like, hey, here's a new actor and a new character. And I think that game continues to look like the second coming of Dragon Age, which I'm really excited for.
Yeah, let me see. They showed that. When did they show it? Was it trailer or was it gameplay?
It was like an actor trailer. It was like, we've got, oh shoot, what was the name of the guy? Jason Isaac is going to be playing a character. And so it's kind of all about this character, introducing them, what role do they play. I don't think we have to show it off, but like,
yeah, I've got it. I'm finding it. It's here
Okay.
somewhere.
The more I see, the more I see of that game, the more I'm super excited for it.
Really? And you're saying it's like the second coming of Dragon Age. I don't recall you being a huge Dragon Age fan.
No, but I think the Dragon Age games got worse as they went along.
They did.
And I loved that first one. That first one was great.
Origins? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Except for like the first hour of getting out of the tower. Then from there on out, that game was amazing.
And so just like to have something that kind of seems to be playing in that same sandbox.
Gods have mercy on those who would stand in our way. A mad dog understands the yank of the leash and the hand of its master, but it cannot be an equal. You can be my equal. There's an old wisdom. A brittle alliance can never be mended. It can only break.
Wow, that
I
sounds
want to
great.
lead this city to glory, not scorch its earth.
He sounds like such a good British villain.
To my
Mhm.
side. Let us usher in a new dawn. This city is
Much like what's his bucket on
I
that was in
What do you say? Shall we be allies?
that looks really good. What's his bucket? Very famous British actor was in not EverQuest,
World of
online.
Warcraft?
Not no.
Fallout 76.
No. Not Skyrim.
The Elder Scrolls
Elder
MMO.
Scrolls Online. Thank you. Elder Scrolls Online, who ended up being the emperor that went nuts and then essentially wrecked himself and he was blind. And I can't remember the actor's name, but my God, people that know that have that voice, that know how to read, make the difference. Absolutely. That's why
John
Jennifer
Cleese?
wasn't. John Cleese was in it too. That's right. John Cleese was in that as well.
I just typed in British actor Elder Scrolls Online. Oh,
John Cleese was
Sean Bean?
Not Sean Bean. Sean Bean was in it too.
Okay.
It was the old man who played Dumbledore.
Oh, Richard something.
So AC Ray, somebody will know. The Elder Scrolls on
Richard Harris?
Yes, Richard Harris.
Hmm.
Yeah, Richard Harris. And it just, you don't appreciate how good a classically trained actor is, especially when they have those classically trained actors' voices that they only really do in England. Until you get a game with people that do that, that are actually voicing those characters, and all of a sudden it's like, oh wow, yeah, you know what you're doing. Yeah, like it just elevates the whole game. There were a number of Dumbledores, agreed.
Yeah, the guy from the first two movies.
Yeah, Richard
passed
Harris.
away. Hey,
Yeah.
hey, stop that.
Yeah. Oh, so good. So it's a beautiful voice. Oh. Anyway.
Well, then following that up, we have another game with a terrible title that sounds like just the gamiest ass game title. This is EA's Immortals of Avern. Immortals of Avum. And this is basically the Magic has Call of Duty. The Call of Duty but Mages game.
Oh, yeah. I'm okay. We talked about this. I'm okay with that.
And they
like
showed
that
off
idea.
They showed off an extended gameplay demo of it. And like it looks pretty cool. I was telling a friend about this later, like the other day. This looks like the kind of game that 10 years ago I would have bought day one just to try it out because it looks pretty cool. But today my gaming time is much more limited.
Right.
And like I've bought so many things cheaply that I have a backlog. And so I don't feel the need to buy it day one just to try it out, which means that it might not be successful. I don't know. And it's just an interesting to see a game that feels like it should have come out 10 years ago.
Right.
It looks like it's coming from the EA that made Dead Space and Mirror's Edge. And so part of me wants to support it just because of that, because it looks like a new and different thing. But also, like, I've got a bunch of other stuff to play.
Yeah. Oh, but it does look neat, doesn't it?
Yeah. I'm rooting for this game. I am rooting for it in my heart.
I am too. But if it's really truly like Call of Duty, it is something that you can drop, which is one of the things I love about Call of Duty. You can either devote yourself to it or you can play it for like a weekend with a friend and then put it away for 6 months and then pick it back up. And it's not, like it doesn't, it's not like you feel like you lost anything or you missed something, or it doesn't feel like it's an appointment.
Yeah.
Appointment game. Speaking of appointments, doesn't feel like appointment gaming that you have to finish the story. It's a game that needs finishing. There's no finishing Call of Duty. There's no finishing Battlefield. It's just you play it or you don't. So if it does that would be great.
Yeah. And then they showed off a whole bunch of other stuff at the Summer Games Fest. I don't know how much of it is like relevant to us. They showed off a trailer for Lies of P, which is the Pinocchio
saw
Dark
that.
Souls game.
Yeah.
And more importantly, they announced a demo for it. And I still need to go play that demo. But I think it's great that they released that, and not a lot of games
gameplay
have
of it?
demos. They did. They've showed gameplay from it before.
Okay.
Honestly, it looks like Bloodborne. So it's really striking close to my heart.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that it's supposedly a version of the Pinocchio story is just weird.
There's a lot of these Disney-esque stories, especially, like fables, that are kind of fucked up. They've got a dark edge, and Pinocchio very much has a dark edge to it. It's always been characterized as a children's, it was Disney-fied.
The Guillermo del Toro Pinocchio movie that came out on Netflix, very good.
Yeah. Wow, this again looks very BioShock-y. Yes.
Yeah.
And also, what's We Happy Few?
Oh yeah.
Oh wow, this is messed up. This is messed up.
It's messed up in the way that the best Souls games are messed up.
Yeah. Yeah, and apparently that was Wendy. Oh yeah. Welcome to K-Pat?
Like, I have no idea what to expect from this game, but it looks interesting.
Yeah.
I'm very intrigued.
Yeah, I
could
could
see a nice
you.
umbrella sword.
I guess Wendy would not be.
Nice landing, but let's not make it a habit.
I'm okay with that. September 19th, so you aren't going to have long to wait.
Yeah. They announced a couple MMOs, which I thought was interesting. One of them is like
Winnie's Hole.
Who?
What's winnieshole.com?
Is that like Winnie the Pooh?
It sounds like I shouldn't be looking at that.
Oh.
Like it's going to give me it.
Along those lines, there's a game where you play a mutant virus-infected Winnie the Pooh.
All right, I'm looking at that right now. I've never heard of this. How long ago did this come out? Do you know?
Oh, no, I think this is new.
New. It's a trailer that was just released five days ago.
Am I a mess? Am I okay?
Because remember, Winnie the Pooh's IP, the copyright expired this year.
Oh, is that why we got that Winnie the Pooh slasher movie earlier?
Right. And the H, was it Milne? Is it like the author's name? Oh God. What the? Wait, Oh. What? Wait.
Yes. Am I okay? We know that change comes from within. You are that change beneath the skin. You play a virus, spread disease, explore expanding piece by piece. Find cells to grow, survive, transform, adapt
So is it like
your
a
host,
Tetris
perfect
puzzle
their
game
form. More
where you
limbs and
mutate Winnie the
jaws,
Pooh?
teeth and claws, locate more hosts, infect because to propagate our only cause. This story is not what it was.
Like, the idea of a virus-infected Winnie the Pooh is one thing. But then the fact that it's like a Tetris-style puzzle game is a whole other twist.
And the point of it is to infect
Yeah.
100 acre wood. Yeah, that 100%, 1,000% is due to the copyright expiring last year.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay, so next item.
Okay. Yeah, more MMOs. There's a Korean one that looks like a fantasy, not fantasy, like a medieval one called Throne and Liberty. There's more of a fantasy sci-fi one called Wayfinder, an expansion to Black Desert Online. And I think there was another expansion for Fallout 76. And I think that's kind of it for the stuff for us.
Yeah. I'm not
Yeah.
going to touch any of those. I don't have time to
Yeah.
jump into it.
Yeah.
All right. So what we're looking forward to that we talked about today, the Left 4 Dead thing.
Toxic Commando.
Toxic Commando we're looking forward to.
I'm looking forward to the spooky underwater games.
Yeah, you are. God, I can't remember what else we saw. Let me look at my history here. Hold on a second. Did I want me to do that? I didn't. I am on my Mac, so I cannot use that.
Star Wars
Baldur's
Outlaws.
Gate. I'm looking for Baldur's
yeah.
Gate.
Baldur's Gate. I want to see more of Star Wars Outlaws at Ubisoft's thing because, like I said, the trailer made it look like a really good movie.
When is Ubisoft's thing? I thought they already had it.
No, I think it's like either tomorrow or Tuesday.
Okay, double check. Clockwork Revolutions looks very good to me. Path of the Goddess. What was that one?
On June 12th, tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
Path of the Goddess was the Capcom kind of top-down action game.
Oh, yeah. What was the one that Don't Nod was doing?
They did the Banishers of New Eden and Jasant. Yeah, the climbing one.
Banishers of New Eden, I think, was the one that we looked at that I thought looks good.
Yeah.
Towerborn, Metaphor, Refantasio.
Yeah, that was the Persona.
That's Persona game. Path of the Goddess. Citizen Sleeper, which we didn't look at. Yeah, Clockwork Revolution. Clockwork Revolution seems to me like a really good one. And Baldur's Gate. Those are the two I'm really, and of course,
Starfield.
I'm hoping for Starfield, man. I'm really hoping for Starfield. I really am. What have I done, Nick? It's done. It's done. The damage.
I hope for your sake the game is very good.
I hope for my sake the game is really good, and if not, I hope for my sake that the watch is really good.
That's true. Look, honestly, I think that game will be really good. Everything we've seen of it looks really cool. I'm genuinely excited for it.
Yeah, me too. And you're of course interested, excited for Alan Wake, which
yeah.
I
know I saw Alan Wake comes out in October, and there was another big game coming out in October, and I thought nah, that one's gonna have to wait because Alan Wake has my heart and money. I forget what it was. Oh, Spider-Man. Spider-Man 2 comes out in October.
Right.
And I thought, no, I can't buy that. I gotta go with Alan Wake.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you got to do Alan Wake. Yeah, that's really, I guess, the two things I'm super looking forward to. Well, three things
Yeah,
I'm super looking
and
forward
yeah,
to.
Toxic Commando, Baldur's Gate,
And
I'm
what was the
Banishers.
was it Banishers? Yeah, Banishers Ghost of Eden. That was what was that one? I'm trying to going back and looking at it again. There was
The
a
Don't
lot.
Nod.
Yes. Yes. That's the other game. I'm the one where like you're banishing evil spirits and you have to decide if you're going to banish them or not, and you've got like a lost, a dead family member that's with you. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So yeah, that sets me up pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, rarely do I get 3 that I'm that interested in. I will usually name 3 or 4, but I'm kind of interested, but not really like I want these. Those 3 games, I want all of them, and I want them today. So, and then of course Starfield.
Yeah.
And I really, really hope Starfield's good because now I'm invested. I'm invested in it.
But yeah, I think overall it was a pretty solid week.
Yeah.
I think it was a good week of announcements. And I guess we haven't talked about EA yet, but I didn't watch that and I haven't had time to.
Yeah, we'll talk about it next week because we're already almost 2 hours in. But yeah, we definitely have to talk about that, and we can talk about EA and also Ubisoft next week. Yeah, I think if you're gonna pick a winner so far, the big winner is Game Pass. Holy crap!
Yes, the fact that I'm looking at a lot of the stuff shown off at the Xbox conference, going, oh, good, I don't have to spend more money on that.
Right, I don't have to wait until it's out for a month before deciding if I'm
I
actually
don't
gonna
have to
put
wait for
money into it.
sale.
I don't have to wait for a sale. I can play it day one. It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like John Carpenter's. I hope that's in Game Pass, right? It's
Yeah.
gotta be in
Oh,
Game Pass.
it was showing off at the Summer Games Fest, not the
Yeah.
Xbox showcase. So
Yeah.
yeah,
I
don't know about that one.
really, really hope that that's on Game Pass because then it's all completely
Mhm.
no-brainer. And Baldur's Gate was Summer Games Fest, right?
Yes, Baldur's Gate is not coming to Game Pass. I
Yeah.
don't think so at all. But I'm ready to buy that one.
Yeah, so Toxic Commander, Battlecamp, and then what's the other? Banishers. Was Banishers at Summer Games or was it at Xbox?
Summer Games.
See. I hope at least one of those I don't have to buy. But if I have to buy them all, I'll buy them all.
I'm sure.
Clearly, I've got the money if I'm going to be buying a stupid fucking watch for $300. A watch in a box. The box is pretty cool. You got to admit, the box is pretty cool.
It was pretty cool. The way like you flip it up and then you turn the thing.
Turn it, yeah. And it did not look like it was plastic. It looked metal.
Mm-hmm.
A Toxic Commando made you schedule an event. Yeah, I'm gonna buy it no matter what. Let's see. So I'm the only one. Make sure to watch Devolver digital shows. They're the only ones to watch. True. Did Devolver already do theirs?
They did. They did.
Okay. Well, then we'll watch Devolver this week as well, and then we'll talk about it next week. What you got on tap? I mean, we're not even going to talk about games. But what you got on tap for this week? I'm going to play Dragon's Dogma.
Okay, I was going to say, there was other news. Do you want to talk about that or what we've been playing?
No, we're not going to talk about what we're going to play. I mean, we're talking about what we're going to play, not what we did play.
I'm going to play.
And yes, there's a ton of news, and there's a bunch of news I want to talk about. Specifically, that fucking not the survey. The survey that came out about female gamers was very interesting. But what I really want to talk about is the reaction of the survey.
Oh, I'm sure it was all. Shit. I'm sure it was all very pleasant.
I thought we were past that, but fuck no, apparently not.
Okay, and then before we get into that,
but I will say this. I will tell you this: the one of the things that you would find interesting women, more women, Switch owners are majority owned by women. More than 50% of Switch owners are women.
Interesting.
And it's all comes down to Zelda. It's Zelda that sells it. But yeah, also that the other consoles are not too terribly far behind. So it's yeah.
Okay.
So we'll talk about it next week. Anyway.
Yes, I will play more Dragon's Dogma. I will probably play some more Jedi Survivor. I want to get farther into it. I'm just like struggling with that game a little bit, interest wise.
Okay. Is it the gameplay that's keeping you away, or is it the
kind of? I'm not particularly interested in the story, and the gameplay is kind of it's so close to being like a good action game, but there's just a couple things holding it back. It's got an animation priority. So like when you hit attack, he goes through the attack animation. And if I hit block, he has to finish the attack animation before he goes to block.
I hate that. I hate
And
that.
it's okay to do that in a slow-paced game, a slow-paced action game like the Souls games. That's all about watching your opponent, waiting for the right time to attack. In a way more fast-paced, action-y game like Star Wars, where I hit the attack button and he goes with the lightsaber, it's like, oh, that's a long attack animation.
Yeah, and in the same way that Alan Wake makes me not want to walk forward because it does the same thing, that if you're penalized for making an attack, it makes you not want to make an attack. It makes you afraid to hit that button.
Yeah.
And that shouldn't ever be the case in
See,
a action fighting game.
Okay, yes, in an action fighting game. Like in a horror
Right.
game,
In a
I'm
horror
all
game,
for that.
that's fine. Yeah, absolutely. But not a Star Wars action game. That's
Yeah,
not
exactly.
that shouldn't be part of your calculus of do I want to hit this button or not.
And so I don't know if I want to lower the difficulty to make it easier, or if I want to up the difficulty to like force myself to kind of pay more attention to the combat.
Right.
But I'm also like not super interested in the open world that they have, because a lot of it is kind of Metroidvania locked off. So it's like, well, I don't want to go exploring because I know I don't have all the abilities I need to go exploring.
Mhm.
So I would rather just continue the story, get some abilities, and then come back later. But I keep getting lost because it's a really big world. And so it's like, oh God, I just want to get from point A to point B.
Right. All right. Well, I guess we'll close out the show since we're heading into AC Ray says, I love Metroidvanias. Yeah. But we still got a few people that are watching. So before you leave, I need to ask you a favor, please. Totally unrelated to gaming, but very important to me personally. So there is a tunnel from Marin County, which is north of San Francisco, to San Francisco, like at the end of the northern end of the Golden Gate Bridge. And was originally called the Waldo Tunnel. Now it's called the Robin Williams Tunnel. In 2014, the name was changed to the Robin Williams Tunnel by a change, spearheaded by a change.org petition. And one of the reasons why it was named the Robin Williams Tunnel is because A, Robin Williams lived in Marin, and B, since 1970, the entrance from Marin south to San Francisco has had a rainbow across the top. So you can actually see the Golden Gate Bridge through the rainbow as you're going through the tunnel. And the thing is, there's no rainbow on the other side. And there is a little girl in Marin who a year ago started a hand petition and asking Caltrans, who is the they're the ones that take care of tunnels and fix tunnels and do stuff like this and have art projects underneath overpasses and stuff like that. She wrote a letter saying, please put a rainbow on the other side of the tunnel. Well, this is something that everybody has asked themselves if they've gone through the tunnel. Why is there a rainbow only on one side? And it's because it was unfinished since 1970. So my boss and I did the petition, but my boss is one of the people who is making a crusade right now to get Caltrans to finish the job and put a rainbow on the other side. See, this is the Robin Williams tunnel from the Marin side. The other side, there's no rainbow. Put a rainbow on the other side. So if you could go to this change.org petition and sign it, and even more so, share it with your friends. This is essentially making a little girl's dream come true, and would love to have you do it. There's a little girl. Her name is Sarah Geronimus, and she got 200 signatures. And, this is a little girl. She's actually has a little handwritten petition with 200 people signing it. So it took a year, but it's starting to get noticed. It's been in the news a couple of times so far. And we're trying to we're at that stage where we really need to hit a critical mass of people doing it. And here, you can see here the picture.
Are you quoted in this news story?
No, my boss is.
No, but it looks like that tweet. Oh, wait, no. Did you write that?
Yes, it's my petition.
Oh.
This is me. This is my petition.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So if you could sign my petition at change.org, you can find it at, let me put a banner up. Hold, stand by. You can find it at change.org/Robin Williams Rainbow. You could go there right now, sign the petition, and share it with on your social media, all your social media feeds. I would be deeply appreciative, because we really need to get a critical that, when you're doing these kind of petitions, you kind of have to hit that critical mass where it starts to really change.org starts to pump it out to people. We're trying to reach that critical mass. The first day we had 5 people sign it. Yesterday evening, we had 60 people have signed it. So far to now, as of today, we have 132. I'm trying to essentially viralize it. So please go to, again, change.org/Robin Williams Rainbow. And if you want more explanation about what it is and why it's happened that way, they've got links to newspaper stories and interviews with Sarah Geronimus on our local television station, and also my explanation of what this tunnel is and why it's important. It's also another reason why it was named the Robin Williams Tunnel, because of course Robin Williams was kind of known as, back in his Mork days, of having the rainbow suspenders. So yeah, we need to finish that job. And because the north side, let's see, there's a picture of the north side. Let's see if I can actually zoom in. This is what the north side looks like. And you can see that it's
boring.
It just looks boring. It's just a boring old tunnel. But on the other side, that's where the rainbow is.
Do you know why it was never finished?
Yeah, well, nobody knows for sure. But the guy who did it in 1970, he was the public information officer for Caltrans at the time. And he was kind of known for being a little bit of a mischievous little sprite, doing little stuff. And he was the one driving through it that said, you know what that looks like? That arch, that arch needs a rainbow. Of course, this is long before the whole rainbow thing being attached to the LGBT and also its relationship to San Francisco, long before that ever happened. So he put that rainbow over the side. And then it was so much on the down low, kind of, that nobody even really recognized within the media at that time that the rainbow had been there for a couple of months. And then by that time it got mentioned by Herb Cain and a bunch of other people. And there was some pushback in Marin County from the old biddies who said that it's dangerous, that it's going to distract drivers, well, since then, that rainbow tunnel is a literal freaking landmark for Marin. Everybody in Marin loves that tunnel. So that's why it kind of stopped. And they're not really quite sure if that's some supposition that may have been, that there might have been just enough pushback that they really didn't want to push it any further and go the other side. So it's been left unfinished for 53 years. So yeah, go sign that petition for me. I would really appreciate it.
I've signed it. AC Rith said he signed it.
Thank you very much. And also share it. That's the important thing. It's not just signing it. It's sharing it on your social media. That is the most important thing, because if you signed it, that's great. You signed it. I do appreciate that. One signature is great. But the whole point is we need to get it to that level of virality that it actually appears on the front page of change.org. That's our goal. And it's kind of like my boss's goal. He's the one that's actually really crusading for it. He's the one that's been mentioned in a number of these newspapers as being like a political consultant that has taken up the charge. But he's kind of doing it, one, for his kids, and two, for Sarah, who started it all. Thank you for signing anonymously.
Cool.
But also share. All right. So I guess anything else before we shut this down?
No, I think
all right.
That's it. Yeah, we just go through E3. The rest of the news we'll talk about next week.
Yeah, it's so funny. And I even have a sound clip that I uploaded for news.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it was a news article on NPR, and I happened to hear it on the way home. I'm like, whoop! Hey, we need to talk about that during the next show. It has to do with the UK and Activision Blizzard shit show. And so essentially it's everything that we've been saying about the shit show, about the EU approving it in the UK not, but said by people way smarter than us that don't know anything about games. It's all about the economy. It was on NPR's Marketplace.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's a big thing. All right, so we'll talk about that next week, of course. Thank you for sharing my tweet. Yeah, it's on my Twitter feed if you want to find it. But yeah. All right, so with that note, let's wait for it. Close this out. You've been listening to GameHounds, episode 682. We did record this on Sunday, June 11th, 2023. I'm Edie Sellers. With me has been Nick DiNicola. If you ever want to get a hold of us, gamehounds.net is our website. Gamehounds@gmail.com is our email. We record this show live every Sunday at 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern on YouTube and on Twitch. On YouTube, we are GameHounds Vids. On Twitch, we are the GameHounds. Please feel free to join us. We would love to have you back. Thank you to everybody in the chat room. Totally appreciate you being here, especially AC Wraith. Not exclusively, but especially AC Wraith, because he's the one that is our link bitch. Every single thing that we mentioned on this show, those links that you saw at the bottom of the page, those are written by AC Wraith while he listens to us. So he is furiously looking up everything that we mentioned, every noun that we mentioned, it's being looked up by him. So thank you so much, AC Wraith, for being that person. Also, we do make the show available as an audio podcast on iTunes and iHeartRadio. Yes, and also Google Play and Android and whatever. Yeah, I know I'm behind. I'm going to fix it tonight. We just got my computer working again just today. So everything's going to get downloaded and uploaded tonight. But something that did get done before today is to thank our patrons. We are 100% Patreon funded. That's what makes this whole video thing happen. You guys pay for all the subscriptions, the software that we have to pay in order to make it happen. So I want to say thank you to our patrons, our actual list of patrons: Drew, Johan Lundgren, Peter Camo, Chunder from Down Under, Nick Sylvain, Terry Sweeten, The Lemon of Truth, Sean Cullen, Andy Shell, Ikarugu, Damocles X, Nacho Romero, Andrew, and Anonymous. You make this all possible. And if you would like to join Patreon.com/GameHounds. $1 a month is all we ask. We are not looking to make this our full-time job, but it is awfully nice that we don't have to spend our own money to put it together. So thanks, everyone. Have a great week. We'll talk to you next week. We're going to be talking about EA and, of course, Devolver. Not EA, Ubisoft and Devolver. Have a great week. Be good. Be kind. Sign that petition. And we'll talk to you next week. Bye, everyone. And we're out. I mean, we're still in, but we're also out. All right, Nick, I'm going to go download audio and upload it. Yeah,
Okay.
I just got, it was yesterday that I finally got because you notice I'm actually at my microphone again. I actually
Yeah,
got my Mac working.
that's right. That
For
whole
2
process
weeks,
finally
I
worked
have not
out.
been. I've been over at my dining room table.
Yeah. Like, do
Yeah.
you know what happened with it, or did you just like go through the defragmentation and it came out okay on the other
Yeah,
side?
I did a disk. Macs have something called a disk repair, disk utility, and that's what it kind of does. It kind of goes through everything and says, "Is anything broken here?" And it unbreaks it, which is a really nice thing. And 99 times out of 100, it also defrags it and everything. But 99 times out of 100, it's not that helpful. In this case, it was very helpful. Now, my computer still it's not running brand new. Let's just say that. It's not running like a new computer, but it's way better than what it was. I mean, obviously I could do a show and I
Yeah.
can actually, like it's not I could launch Chrome without it beach balling for 10 minutes.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
That's a good thing.
It's a good thing. So I'm going to hopefully hold out a little bit longer before I have to buy a new computer. I know that it's in my future. I'm just trying to like hold out so that so that I can budget this stuff a little bit better because I can't buy the Tesla and the computer and the trip to
And-
Bali and the $300 version
I mean,
of Starfield.
one of those was entirely unnecessary.
Oh, yeah, true, but I really want it. So, yeah. Hey, Chunder! Yeah. Hey, look, and you know what? Did you hear yourself getting mentioned, sir? Because you got the mention. Thank you for making me look again. Thank you to the patrons: Drew, Johan Lundgren, Peter Camo, Chunder from Down Under, Nick Sylvain, who is I can't remember his handle. Shoot, I know him. He's the judge.
The judge.
Heartbreak Ridge.
Oh,
That's Heartbreak Ridge. Terry Sweeten. I think that's Pissed. Lemon of Truth, Sean Cullen, which is Shonikin. Andy Shao, Iruga, and Damocles X, Nacho Romero, Andrew, and Anonymous. Thank you all so much. Really makes a difference. It's nice to know that we're loved and we're valued enough by you guys that, you'd actually want us to keep going.
yeah.
I did kindly. Thank you. You're welcome. And thank you for making me go to the Patreon because I was assuming that everybody was ignoring me. That I've been saying it for, all these years. And I just figured everybody just didn't do it. Meanwhile, Nick and I still haven't made good on getting custom guitars redacted to trick you into paying for mine.
How is it getting custom guitars? I don't remember that.
I don't remember that too. You want to explain that further? Because I know what redacted is. But
Really? What was
yeah,
redacted?
I'm not going to mention it. It's redacted.
It's redacted.
It's redacted for a reason, dude. Yeah. He and I know. what it is. Let's just say that it's a situation that I would rather not have anybody be able to look back in the past and know that I knew.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We've had this conversation. You know what it is. You know what it is. You just have to be reminded. But I
Yes.
don't know anything about it.
I
so it's
forget
redacted.
what I had for breakfast like 3 days ago.
That's true. That was the joke plan when you bought me redacted. Oh yeah.
All this redacted information. I should know what it is, but I don't.
All right. Everyone, have a great week. We'll
Yes.
talk to you later. Thanks for being here. And yeah,
Right.
next week, Devolver and
Devolver,
Ubisoft.
EA, Ubisoft.
Did we? Oh, wait, right. We didn't talk about EA, did we? Oh, yeah. Another big week. This is the 2 weeks that are
It
paying off the
continues.
last 2 months of
Hey.
no news.
Yeah. But you know what? Games are coming out.
Games are coming out. We're back in business, baby. And we needed it after the last couple of years.
I joked that I should convince Nick to speak about whatever I wanted to get more stuff. Oh, okay.
In other words, you were gonna blackmail me to make me buy you a guitar?
I don't remember that.
Is he right? If you want me to buy you a guitar, you just have to send me
There's no need
what
to
you want.
blackmail.
I don't need to blackmail. You know me. I owe you. You're if dollar cost averaging, that's
No.
cheap labor.
Besides, you can always blackmail her with the redacted, the dangers of redacted on top of her house.
Yes. You've remembered what redacted is. We're not talking about redacted. There's no redacted here.
Oh, I was
No.
gonna annoy you.
I was gonna annoy you into buying me a new guitar. Totally different. Oh, if you want to annoy me into doing it, that's fine. You can annoy me all you want, but whenever you're tired of annoying me, just send me the freaking parts list, dude. Just send me the freaking parts list because from what I gather, it's not that terribly expensive. I mean, we're not talking. It's
look,
not like a Fender,
Look, she dropped $300 on a whim for a Starfield watch.
Yeah, I dropped $300 on a Starfield watch. I like I said, if you dollar cost average for all the labor that you have done for over the years for us, it's actually fairly cheap. It's actually way below minimum wage.
If you could
Way.
find a guitar that has like a watch in it, Edie would buy it for herself.
I actually just might do that. I would probably do that. Yeah.
I don't know how that would work.
I have the Red Ryder BB gun.
I know of that.
Yeah.
That's
Christmas Story.
Yeah, that's right.
Because I have to remember what the actual description of it is. Red Ryder BB gun, Christmas Story quote. There we go. It is the official Red Ryder carbine action 200 shot range model air rifle with a compass in the stock and this thing that tells time. And I have a Red Ryder BB gun for that reason.
Okay.
Because it tells time.
You just gotta stick a watch into something.
Yeah. Pretty much. If you just stick a watch into something and make it cool, even more so if you can there's some fantasy watches out there. Holy shit. I mean, I will never be able to afford to buy one of those. But there are some fantasy freaking watches out there with clockwork, like oh my God. I can't remember the name of them. Fantasy watch years men's not there. There's all the steampunk, the cheap collector full of there we go. Here it is. I will share one to you.
Yeah, I was trying to look this up.
Yeah, I mean, if I was like, if I had all the money in the world, I would get one of these. These are the Roger Dubuis. Oh, look at that thing. Is that thing not freaking gorgeous?
Oh,
Look
that
at
looks
that.
cool.
Isn't it?
Being able to see inside it.
Yes. It's amazing. Yeah, I would absolutely buy one of those, but it both front and back. So it's clear all the way through.
That's cool.
It is really cool. And Roger Dubuis makes beautiful watches, but you can see that I will never own one of those.
Mm.
And you'll see why. Yeah, he does make some really fantastic. And there's even better ones out there, but they're stupid expensive. Yeah. I mean, look at that. It's a freaking transformer. Yeah. He does make beautiful, beautiful watches, but yeah. So yeah, I'm a watch whore.
Yes.
AC Wraith says, get a crown for Luthier and see if I need donations. Right now I'm thinking of going cheap with an unfinished body that I'll rub all these oil on and then get my cousin to help solder electronics. With smartwatch, you can change the face at a whim. Not as good as the real thing, but still cool. Yeah, yeah. See, and I don't have a smartwatch, and I want one, but I'm struggling with it. And actually, it would be really useful for me because I take the ferry, and my ferry card is on my phone. So whenever, and also I have a Tesla, which is also is a key to my car. So whenever I'm, at the ferry, I have to pull out my iPhone and I have to scan it so that I can get on the ferry, and then I have to scan it on the way out. And it does bother me because I'm pulling out ostensibly the key to my car when I'm standing over water on a walkway. Now, I have asked the guys, the ferry guys, and it's like, hey, has anybody ever dropped their watch or their phone into the water? And they're like, yeah, it hasn't happened. And it's like, yeah, you know what's going to happen? I'm going to be that person. And then I'm going to be stranded because I don't have a backup. I mean, I do have a backup key, but I don't keep it with me. I don't want to have a backup key with me. So that terrifies me. Now, if I had a watch, I just have to scan the watch to just, swipe it.
Yeah. What if you had like an Apple Watch that could connect to the phone?
Right. And exactly. It's an Apple Watch. It connects to the phone. You can use it as your scanner. And also you can also use it as to get into your car. So it's a kind of really, it went from being I would never own one to really, 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 really useful. But I can't bring myself to buy one because they're so fucking expensive.
Yeah.
And they're not like a watch. If I was going to spend that much on a watch, I would get like a real watch that I want, like that feeds that watch whore need. But I'm getting a watch that doesn't.
Chandra makes a point that you can change the face of the smartwatch. Like, could you find a style? But like, you could find a face that looks cool.
I mean, I would absolutely find a face that looks cool, but then that's not what I like about watches. What I like about watches is their physicality, their precision, and
the actual
how
mechanical nature.
Yes, the mechanical nature. The fact that they work is kind of a little freaking miracle, to be honest. And they're beautiful. They're beautiful pieces of jewelry. So yeah, and also they have that function, but that sound of a tick is so ASMR to me. Like hearing a tick, 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 tick. It just, it's like hearing a person's heartbeat. Like the heartbeat of a person that you love. That's what that sounds like to me with a watch. Same kind of feeling. There are thousands of faces, some like the ones, but digital. Yeah. But that's the thing. They're digital. They're not real. It's like saying, do you want a Picasso? Like you can go to IKEA and get a Picasso painting.
Yeah.
It's like, no, but I kind of want a Picasso.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, there's some having a print is just not the same as having
Mhm.
the actual thing.
Mhm.
I
Because and
totally
it's
with
not
you
just
on that.
because of the value, it's because in a print, it's just pictures. It's just colors on a piece of paper. When it's an actual painting, you can see the brush strokes
You can
of
see
the
the
painter.
layers, you can see how they're stacked, you can see the 3D.
Right. And all of those little brush strokes that were made were done by that artist. So you look at a Monet close up and you can see the touch of Monet. It's not just the picture. The picture could be lovely, but if you truly love that picture, the fact that you could actually have a visceral connection to that artist, that's what's important.
Jenna says, I don't think I've heard of a smartwatch that ticks. That's a money idea right
It
there.
kind of is. It would help if there was a tick mode with a smartwatch. I would definitely run it because I love the sound of a ticking time watch. Always have, even as a child. My dad's diving watch, which I have, which I know is radioactive. I know that the stuff it has radioactive paint in it. No
Oh,
question.
jeez.
No question. Absolutely no question that there is radioactive paint in that. Because I remember how bright it was when we were kids. And turn off the light, and it's like you could see that thing across the freaking room. And yeah, it was definitely done with the radioactive paint that made the glow girls. You've heard about that, right? The glow girls?
No. Is that people that were painted to glow?
No. Wow. Yeah, I should you should look it up. There's videos or there's like documentaries about it. Back when radium was discovered and it was put into paint. Well, first it was used to make especially in the war, it was used to paint the gauges inside of planes, of fighter planes in World War II, so that you could see them in the dark.
Mm.
So it was kind of a big thing to become a person, a woman. It was all women because, of course, there was no men. Women were building ships. Women were building, working in factories. Women were part of the factories that were making these gauges, and it was kind of a big thing for like a big promotion for a woman to become a painter of these very, very small dials. And the way that they were all instructed, and you had to have a very steady hand and be very good at it, but the way they were all instructed in order to get their tips of their paintbrushes slim enough to be able to very accurately make these numbers and like the markings on it was to take the brush and and then dip it in the paint and then do this and then you'd wipe it and then so they were ingesting this radium paint, which is radioactive. Of course, we didn't know anything about radioactivity, but they were called glow girls because the girls who worked there, because they were ingesting all of that paint, their teeth would glow, their eyes would glow, and their skin would glow at night. They were so full of radium paint that they actually glowed at night. So it was kind of like being like, oh, she's a glow girl because you could see her in the dark. It was like almost fashionable to be a glow girl. Of course, eventually their mouths started to rot off and they all died of cancer. Radium girls. That's it.
Yeah, I got a Encyclopedia Britannica article here. That's funny because it says because radium had been used successfully in the treatment of cancer, many considered it a miracle element, and a variety of commercial products were manufactured with radium as an ingredient, including toothpaste and cosmetics.
Yep. I have in our front yard of where I grew up, and it's probably still there because we still own the house and haven't moved practically anything from the front yard. there is a jar, a little mason, ceramic jar that has all written on the side of it that it is radium in it, because it was seen as like, hey, this is a healthy drink. So you would fill it up with water at night so that it could absorb the radioactivity. And then you were instructed to drink it, to rinse your mouth with it, to wash your face with it, to put it in your hair, because it's going to make you, everything better. If you were feeling not good, if you were feeling weak, you could drink radium water and it would make you stronger. And yeah, and then it's mom's radioactive pot in the front yard is still there.
Oh my god. This fucking article, in case you needed any further proof that like the hellscape of capitalism and businesses have always been there. It's like, oh, all these gas companies knew of climate change for decades. Oh no shit. In growing number, other radium girls became deathly ill, experiencing many of the same agonizing symptoms as the first girl that died. For 2 years, their employer vociferously denied any connection between the girl's death and their work. Facing a downturn in business because of the growing controversy, the company finally commissioned an independent study on the matter, which concluded that the painters had died from the effects of radium exposure. Refusing to accept the report's findings, the company commissioned additional studies that came to the opposite conclusion.
Right.
And it decried the girls who had taken ill. The public continued to assume that radium was safe.
Yeah.
God damn. It's just same story, different decade.
It's same story, different decade. Exactly. So I don't know. Oh yeah. Well, the radium, the watch, my father's watch was a radium watch. He got it in World War II. So he wore it on his wrist until not the day he died, but like until he was a very, very old man. And yeah, I got it in my drawer with all the rest of my watches. So I don't know how we got on the subject of that. All right, I'm going to go. I will talk to you all later. Next week, EA. Next week, Devolver. Next week, Ubisoft. And thank God we have news to talk about again. Oh my God. So everyone, take care. Have a great week. Don't eat radium. And we'll see you then. Bye, everyone.
Bye.